Okay, whenever you go.
Okay, so to begin my whole speech, I'm going to give you a little story. So you're going to the grocery store, and you need some groceries, obviously. So you walk past some milk, and you see it's $4.50. As you're walking around, you grab some other groceries, and as you come back, the milk's now $6. So unfortunately, you have to buy milk. So you grab the milk, and you walk up to the front, and guess what? There's a huge line. So you end up having to wait around, let's be reasonable, about an hour. And by the time you eventually buy the milk is now $17. As preposterous as it sounds, this is actually happening within the healthcare area. The Obamacare program will force taxpayers to waste tremendous amounts of time and money. And I'm going to prove this to you by taking you through my 3 points. The first one is how it will actually waste taxpayers' time. The second is how it will increase taxes. And the third is how Obamacare will actually raise the healthcare premiums. So, my first point, how Obamacare will waste taxpayers' time. How many of you have had to go to the DMV or do jury duty and things like that? Raise your hand. So pretty much all of you. You know how much of a hassle that is. It's a pain in the butt. People there don't really care. They don't get paid to be nice to you, and they're there regardless. But what if the hospital was like that? What if you had to make arrangements 6 months in advance to get a lung transplant? You can't plan that far ahead when it comes to that. So therein lies the problem. People will have to deal with the government to get any sort of medical treatment. Using how the government runs the DMV, why is the hospital going to be different? So now that I've kind of, gone over that point, my second point is how Obamacare will actually raise taxes. Well, the government right now is broke, to be honest. So they don't have the money to pay for it, so they're going to have to put on more taxes to pay for it. And you can see here I got this from the Washington Examiner. Unfortunately, it was from an anonymous source, so you can see the dubiousness of the credibility. But it says, Obamacare won't decrease healthcare costs for the government. According to Medicare's accuracy, it will increase costs. And I have it again right here from Ramesh Ponaru of, I believe it was Time magazine. The Congressional Budget Office says, the leading healthcare reform proposals will increase healthcare spending and make the budget hard to balance in the long run. In addition, here's another quote, the Obamacare allows the IRS to confiscate part of or all of your tax refund if you do not purchase a qualified insurance plan. And the bill funds 16,000 new IRS agents to make sure Americans stay in line. Now, it's from the Washington Examiner, dubious credibility, but you understand where this is headed. The Obamacare plan is making more taxes and trying to raise more revenue for something that we can't pay for. The country is in a depression. People don't have money to pay for more taxes. We barely have money to pay for the taxes we have now. I mean, personally, I pay a quarter of my paycheck to the government, and I really don't want to pay more. So, let's see, here's another. In addition to this, Obamacare will raise premiums on health insurance. So, since the government has to be able to pay for all the Medicare they offer, they have to raise their own premiums for their insurance until they can cover it. But then forcing other insurance companies to cover these costs also raises everybody else's insurance, or not to cover the costs, but to switch to the Obamacare medical plan. So it forces other insurances to raise their costs. In 2010, according to the Washington Examiner, insurance suddenly forced to cover clients' children under age 26 have little choice but to raise premiums, and they attribute Obamacare's mandates to a between 1% to 9% increase. And again, in 2011, this is from Carla Fry from CBS, employers expect health care insurance to rise by an average of 8.9%. So just in the past 2 years, we've seen almost a 19% increase in health insurance premiums. If we follow this trend, by 2019, we'll be extremely high up that I don't want to do math. And the Obamacare plan promises to lower health insurance fees by $2,500. Now, according to Mark Hemingway from according to Mark Hemingway, instead of covering the $2,500 in relatively by the time it started, Obamacare is only going to cover $2,000 a year by 2019. So in another 8 years, you'll have an extra $2,000 a year from insurance. And so, in conclusion, I've told you that the Obamacare program will force taxpayers to waste tremendous amounts of time and money. I've shown this to you by explaining how Obamacare will actually waste taxpayers' time, how it will increase taxes, and how it will raise the premiums in health insurance. And actually, I'm actually done. So thank you for your time.
It is on
All right, I kind of like the visualization as an attention device. You did label your claim, although it has multiple parts to it because you're talking about time and money, and I think you need a more generic claim, and then those could be secondary issues. There's a good layout of what the secondary structure is. That's the strongest part of the speech, and you do a good job internally signposting those points as you get to them. On your first point, all you have is this hypothetical comparison to the DMV and jury duty without explaining why it is that Obamacare is going to mean government takeover of health care. How is it going to be different than the kind of health care situations that we're having now? That's largely assumed, and there's no description of how we get to that particular point. On the second point, you start citing information, but you critique your own source. You cited the Washington Examiner 3 or 4 times, and you dismiss it as a source. I'm not sure why. If it's not such a great source, why do you keep using it? If it's the only thing you've got, you're not really helping your credibility a great deal there. You actually did have 2 or 3 other sources that you cited, and they were okay, although sometimes the information is so general that it's hard to figure out how it applies to the claim that you're talking about. Presentation issues, at the beginning you're doing a lot of pacing, and I know you're trying to settle down and relate to the audience in a way that is conversational in nature, but it actually makes you look nervous. I think you're doing a better job once you get into the speech and you stop all of that back and forth sort of thing. You project your voice pretty well, but you need to have a little bit more control over the arguments that you're making. And some of the content. I thought the summary was really solid. It was easy to remember what it was that you were trying to say based on the review that you gave us. All right, thank you.